I'm going to call this Pond Finds. Pond Finds. Things I find in the pond. And we're going to start off with china and pottery, I guess, because that's what I have here in front of me. Probably one of the strangest things I've found is what I like to call the mermaid's teacup. And the strange thing about this was I found the teacup, and then quite some distance off I found the saucer. And when I found it, it was a lot grubbier looking than this. I've cleaned it. It still needs more cleaning, but it's a beautiful Fiesta ware yellow, and I am so happy that I found this because I love Fiesta ware, so this was like a little gift. And I didn't even realize this until just now when I was looking up about it. It's called Rhythm by Homer Laughlin. And when I looked it up originally, I think I found that it was made in the early 60s. I think. Early 60s, late 50s. But the thing I didn't know was that Homer Laughlin Company actually is a company that put out Fiesta ware. So it makes sense that it's a Fiesta ware yellow. And the whole bottom was like charred black, and I really had to scrub it. If you ever have anything that's like charred from fire, that's china, ceramic, porcelain, just use baking soda and a toothbrush and it'll come off. This whole thing was black. It still needs a lot of work, and I'll show you the Rhythm Homer Laughlin. I don't know if that's gonna focus. Hold on, come around. Yeah, you can see it. So it took a lot of scrubbing, but I now have this pretty teacup. So obviously I'm not going to drink out of it, but it just makes a nice decoration. There's another teacup I found that unfortunately was missing its handle, and I have no idea what this is. It's just some generic porcelain china white teacup, but the cool thing was that it has like cracks in the glazing, and just pond dirt has gotten into the cracks, and it's kind of like all different shades of orange, so it's kind of pretty. It's kind of gross, but kind of pretty too, so I kept this one as well. And then I've found a lot of blue willow china, like a blue willow pattern. I have all these little chips, which I was just cleaning. And I was really excited the other day because I came across these two chips. I was just washing it. It's a little wet still. These two chips of the plate, and they fit together, but the thing I was excited about was that it has the mark, so I could finally look up about it, but I'm still not quite sure who makes it, and I was just looking again, and it actually turns out that Homer Laughlin made a blue willow pattern like this, but this says semi-china England, and it has a 61, and the semi-china doesn't. It looks similar to the semi-china markings I saw on other blue willow, but this doesn't have anything around the diamond. I'll show you. I mean, I don't really know anything about blue willow. I only was just looking it up. There we go. So, I don't know. Not that this is like even worth anything. I'm just curious. I like it because I can learn things. When it has the markings, I never would have known Homer Laughlin made Fiesta ware and made blue willow china if it hadn't, I hadn't been looking that kind of thing up. This chip has the birds. So it's kind of cool. I can make some kind of art project out of this. That's another video though. I'll show you my pond art. Things I make out of stuff I find in the pond. But this is the best one of that blue willow. It's an almost whole teacup. It's missing the part with the handle. But I like it. The water has a lot of iron in the soil. And it's pretty much turned this white and blue teacup rust color. But I like that. It's cool. I'll show you. This is another one of my favorite things I've found. This is stoneware. This would have held beer. It's very heavy. If you look inside, you can like see how it was made. So I found this. It was buried in the sand and under the water. And this was showing, and it looked white. It looked bright white under the water. But as you can see, it's got a brown glazing to it. But this, so it was pretty much all of it was buried in the sand. This was sticking up, and it was so hard to get out. It took a while to get it out. I didn't know what it was at first. I just saw this round thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and get this out, and I could tell it was heavy. And then I got it, and I had to like roll it along the bottom towards the shore to pull it out. And I was excited when I saw this, the shape of this. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be something good. I didn't expect it to actually be pottery though. Like, it surprised me when I reached in to lift it, how heavy it was. I mean, you can kind of tell when you're pushing something along with a paddle into the water that it's gonna, like, how heavy it's gonna be. But this was heavier than I thought it was going to be. So they would have had beer in this, like 1800s. I mean, it could possibly be older, but I think it's 1800. I don't really know anything about pottery. Maybe you know something. But yeah, this was what beer bottles used to look like before they were glass. It was really cool. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to have a close-up of it. So this doesn't have any markings of any kind. I guess sometimes, like, the potter, is that what, I don't know what you would call the person that would make this type of thing, a potter, would have made some kind of mark on the bottom. There's kind of a bump there, but I don't think it's a mark. So it's probably made like locally. It's very, very crudely, roughly made at the bottom. It's got this beautiful brown glaze on it. I just love it. I feel so lucky to have found this. So exciting. Love to find another one. So that's that. That's a quick episode of Pond Finds. Sounds like I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying. So that's some of my interesting ceramic, china, pottery, pond finds. Pond finds. It sounds strange. Sounds like I'm not saying it correctly. So next episode we'll have some other episode. So next time we'll have some more interesting pond finds. Non-ceramic. I'll put a picture up of when I found this, what it looked like. You'll see why I call it the mermaid's teacup. Show you some of my artwork next time, if you want to call it that. Or like crafts, maybe. Arts and crafts on the pond. Alright, see ya.